Welcome sa episode 26 ng DEADMAN Talking, kung diin gasturya kita any topics under the sun. And of course, I'm so happy nga nag-guest ta subong nga ika-26 episode, one of my kumpare diri sa music scene sa Bacolod. Kagdamo naman kami mga collab ng songs si Neopod. Ang isa sa pinaka-paboritong naton ding artist sa hip-hop diri sa Bacolod City kag sa Negros Island. Wala na sa iba kundi si Aero.
I speak my mind so I can reach your mind. Cause deep inside, most are like me inside. I ain't scared to say what's really in my heart. I might be here to tell you now that I'm on.
Pare. Thank you for having me.
Welcome sa DEADMAN Talking. Well, pastorya lang ta mga anything about you, no? Nga Aero ang name nga napili mo out of other names.
Out of other names. So, Aero derived from my name being, my parents used to call me Alberto.
Okay.
So if you look at Aero, all of the letters are there in the same order, like A-E-R-O. You just take out L, B, R. So A-E-R-O is there.
Okay.
And at that time, I was very heavily into graffiti, and which, we use aerosol spray paint cans.
Okay.
And that's basically how it came out. It was a graffiti name, and as I got into rapping, it kind of like stuck that way.
Okay, so A-E-R-O.
Alberto. It's all in
Aero.
Alberto.
Okay.
Which is my real name, by the way.
Anyways, pare, who introduced you into hip-hop music? Or how did it start it?
Started in the 80s, man.
Okay.
You gotta understand. I'm older than the newest artists here. Yeah? I think we're in the same genre over here. But when I was a kid, when my sister used to go to the bathroom, I knew that she had a shoebox full of cassette tapes, and while she was in there for 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, I had time to sneak in her room and just play those things on her boombox at that time. And they were tapes like Run DMC, Beastie Boys. And yeah, I was really fascinated. I didn't understand what it was because before that, I was just listening to my dad's records during the weekends. It was like the Beatles, the Cascades, Bee Gees, Platters, and I never heard of music like that before. It was like Michael Jackson and that, and I was amazed, so it kind of drew me in at that early age.
So mas una, si sister mo mamati.
Yes.
Hip-hop.
I had no idea what hip hop was.
Okay.
We didn't even see it on the TV at that time.
Yes.
And that's how long ago it was.
Ang what hook me into hip-hop is, ako gidya una, is ulihin ako sa lyrics, but ang ga-hook up sa akin isang beat.
Yeah.
Especially ang old nga mga hip-hop is boom bap.
Yeah.
So it's dira nga pattern. So do ka kanami something different out of all time nga 80s is rap music, old folk. Well, how do you start naman nga nag-write ka na something, or do you remember when is the first time nga you try to write a rhyme or any lyrics?
Wait, but before I get into that, the 80s, since you spoke about that, also the movies like Breakin', I don't know if you remember that, Electric Boogaloo, those were the movies, they were breakdancing, right? I was always into breakdancing when I was younger.
Okay.
So before the rap, I guess like you, I love the beats and the music and the way it felt when it flowed through my body. So that was it. And back to that question, like when the first time I wrote, I believe I was like 13 years old. I was a freshman in high school, and they had these talent shows.
Okay.
Talent shows
At school. Okay.
At the high school, and it would happen every last Friday of the month. We get to stay after school. Then we have a DJ. The DJs usually they're Filipinos. They're the ones with the mobile setup,
Okay.
setup, and I knew the DJs. I would get close to them because of them being Pinoy, and they would let me hang out and listen to the records. And every time you have a record, it's a single. Let's just say you have Cali Island, Message for the Youth on one side. On the other side, it's just the instrumental.
Okay.
So these guys would let me, listen to instrumentals. And I remember just being there one time and just being able to write my first rap. I didn't even know how long it's supposed to be. I don't know. I just knew how to make words rhyme and kind of like make sense.
And matiming mo lang siya sabi.
Timing.
Okay. Ang ini nga time, those times, is this in the Philippines or sa US?
No,
siya?
this was when this happened was Guam.
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 Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in Guam, Hawaii, parts of the West Coast, been there. But then I spent a lot of time on the islands before actually settling down in the Philippines. It's a
Okay.
Bacolod city.
But in Guam, damo mo the Filipino community.
A lot.
A lot.
I think at that time, maybe you can say 35% is
Well-
Filipino, or they're already mixed, you know, Guamanian, actually Chamorro and Filipino. It was it's just like a Philippines, but using dollars.
Sa journey mo, what I remembered was ang storya man ni Apple the App kay Filipino community man dito sa ila area that time, and hip hop man ang nag-introduce siya is dancing first.
Yes.
So break dancing before siya nag-hip hop. Anyways, what year ka na nag-abot sa Philippines?
I came here in 2021
2021.
and lived here ever since. Been flying in and out of Bacolod, but
Okay.
been living here, calling it my home since 2021. I'm sorry, 2001.
Okay.
Damn, that's how far it was. But yeah, and I came here initially just to go to school.
Okay.
Shout outs to LaSalle.
I just want to ask, since may Filipino community in Guam, do you happen to listen man sa mga Filipino hip-hop artists nga nagindala dito sa mga Filipino community? Or?
Of course, it
Okay.
was Master Plan,
Okay.
Sun Valley Crew, and cannot forget Francis Sam.
Francis.
They even were played on the radios on Guam. So
Oh.
I was able to,
Filipino artists.
yeah, and so that even made me like, wow, there's Filipinos doing a black thing, and I was like, oh, it's probably okay. You know, I didn't know the culture yet.
Okay.
It was just new. But when I heard those artists, I was really marveled. You know, I was really, I said I wanted to do this.
And I just wonder, no, okay, when I search some pictures mo, you have a lot of pictures with very prominent names sa hip-hop in the Philippines. Like, you have pictures with Andrew E, with Looney,
Yes.
like Glock. How were you able to tap or nakilala sila? Do you often go sa ilang mga events before?
Yes, I think it started in 2007. See, that's how far back again. I used to go to Manila just to be heard and seen. I think Manila is basically like the New York for the Philippines, right? You gotta go out there, make it there to try to make a name for yourself. And what happened was during it wasn't as easy as social media nowadays, you know. And back then, the social media didn't really have DMs, right? It wasn't that. It was still Friendster, MySpace, like so. What I did was save enough money. I was selling mixtapes, like a CD that I used to burn over here. I would rap over popular beats and just sell them 99 pesos out here. I think I made enough, like about 40K. I sold like a lot of copies, especially hanging out at LaSalle. Taste Station, what's up? And I saved that money. And one summer, I went out to Manila. So there I was trying to get in everywhere. And it's even documented on this channel, this independent music channel called Indie Plug, by my homeboy Hitman. Shout out Hitman. And we got In My City. You know my song, In My City?
About if you wanted in my city. We don't have tall buildings, but get this, please support your local small business in my city. We live at a slower pace. Those who tour the place can all afford the rates in my city. All my people smile a lot for my city. Yo, I got a new
No, my
style.
song's
in my
In My
city.
City. We got that on the radio. So that's what helped me get into the local scene.
Scene.
They were like, oh, that's that guy from Bacolod who's always holding a red horse, you know, like like that. And he raps in English. So doing that, like making our way to the radio station, which was Wave 89.1. That's their number one hip hop R&B radio station there. When I made it there, I kind of made it easier to like find my ways into these little gigs. You know what I mean? So it was easy to meet these artists. And again, it was never social media. It was, we built our relationship through friendship first and then through collaboration. And we've just that's my people now.
That's what I want to ask. How would you know sa mga events? Subong social media po sa makita mga flyers or posters. So that those times text lang or you need to know them first before ka mag-get invited into some events.
Yeah, some people were exclusive. Like you had to know, right? But then otherwise, back in the day, it was text brigades or something.
Text brigade.
Is it? You know what I mean? That's how old school I am too. It was text brigade. I don't know. I don't know. And then, or if you were if you made it to a gig or an event, they would kind of spread the word there, and you're like, okay, the next one is, and you just follow it the next weekend again.
Okay. I just want to ask sa mga wala kabalo, Aero was one of the judges sa mga early days, really early days of Flip Top.
Oh.
And I want to know ang mga pre-Flip Top days pa. Do these rap battles always exist na? Or some Flip Top times lang yan?
If you were to ask Enigma, the founder of Flip Top, I was part of his battles before. Before Flip Top, he had this thing called Versus. Okay. And then I was on Versus 2. And I didn't make it up there, but I was joining his battles. I was joining freestyle competitions. I even beat Zaito. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true. That's documented too. And so I think that's where people knew that this guy is just not a rapper. He's like an MC. I can freestyle. At that time, a lot of rappers were freestyling. A lot of MCs were freestyling. Nowadays, not so. They have songs only. They record songs and perform it. But back then, freestyling was a very big part of being a hip hop artist. If you rap, and so that Versus, I guess that was his step to Flip Top. I remember in 2010, after like maybe a year and a half later, he was inviting me to do the very first Flip Top. I think it's called Grain Assault. And he said, you have 1 month to prepare. This is going to be a cappella. Problem was, I was here in Bacolod and taking care of fraction. You know what I mean? Hanging out with my wife. And I was asking if he was going to fly me out there to Manila for the battles, right? And he said, no, it's like on your own. And I said, I don't got no money to do that. So I wasn't part of the first Flip Top to battle. I was supposed to battle. But then he invited me again when I was in Manila and I became the judge.
Okay, yeah. But ang Versus may videos ni nga.
There's some videos online. I know I've seen a couple. I don't personally have, but I've seen some online.
And I just want to ask do ka random, no? I just bagulo ko balo nga na battle mo si Zaito. Zaito, freestyle battle.
Freestyle battle.
Zaito was doing Tagalog.
Yes.
And you were doing
Yes.
Paano na siya? May topic na ginahata?
There was a topic. There was a topic. So, maybe, no, but Zaito was tired that day because he on the other side, he was also battling. There was a freestyle battle and there was actual a rap battle, right? The freestyle was with a topic. Okay. The rap battle was they were dissing each other. And he was battling everybody. He won on that side. But then he tried to do the freestyle battle. He didn't win when I joined.
Okay.
He won the other. That was the same night, so he must have been tired and he couldn't keep up anymore. But that was what it was. That was crazy night. You just make me remember.
A personal question. Ever since high school, may araman ko face nga into hip hop. And this, ang ginatawag nyo ng freestyle is very hard. Really, really very hard. I don't know, you are just blessed and talented. Pero for me, it's really, really hard to rhyme on the spot. What sa mga simple nga terms, what practices do you do nga ma-practice mo ang brain mo into freestyling?
Read. And then another thing that was a good tool was a dictionary and a thesaurus. You know what I mean? Just get, and then when you come across knowledge or information that you're interested in, I mean, just retain the information and then the knowledge, and sometimes you can use that in a freestyle. I mean, it's just everyday things that you see. I could be rapping about your hat, and and make it make sense. So it's like that, and it takes really practice. You just cannot. I think if unless you're blessed again, like I don't believe that you can start freestyling and be good at it right away. It's just like writing a song. It's a process, you know.
Kay I watch mga Lunis reaction videos on those flip-flop battles, and oftentimes wala pa nila na watch ang battle, but they know the words nga isugpon sa
Yes,
punta.
yes.
So that means grabe na nila alam na nila yung isusunod na mga words
And
na magra-rhyme.
I guess that's the cliche. Great minds think alike. You can, you can predict it already.
Yeah. Anyways, right now, since Aero has a project man diri sa Bacolod, and that has been like 3 years na siguro. It's called Vaccine, which is nabata gid siguro halin sa vaccine times ng pandemic, no?
Yeah.
Why did you make these events, or ano ang goal mo sa sininga event about vaccine?
It was a time during the COVID times, right? During the pandemic when we were on lockdown, and I was always playing on the words, the vaccine. I said, "Oh, this sounds like catchy, like wordplay." And then it wasn't until 2022 when I took a trip to the United States. Shout out to the Lane family in Idaho. I spent some time out there, and I was able to reflect and all that. And I said, it's all about me and my group and whatnot. I mean, how can we give back to the community as a collective, right? And I was like, I remember thinking about vaccine like about last year. I said, okay, let's use that name. And I said, 2023, we're gonna try to do something once a month. The last Friday, every last Friday of the month, that wasn't even conceptualized yet. I just knew that I wanted to do something every month. So I came back right before 2023. So happened, I was just hanging out with friends in Art District. I connected with a venue out there. I connected with little sponsors to help out. And it became that. I reached out to BCHC, shout out to Jed. And then they helped me do the first event, which was held at Grey Room. Also,
Grey Room that time.
Yeah, Hush, what up? And that's what happened. We started from there, and it was just nonstop. Like from there, when we started posting, I think social media did a very big job, because when we posted the artists performing, we were doing it live at that time, right? So like maybe just 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Other artists said, "Hey, we want to be part of that." So,
okay,
you know what I mean?
And
all genres too, by the way, all genres.
Yeah, and right now it became a thing na nga every last Friday of the month.
Yeah,
ginabantayan na nila ang vaccine, and that's daw naging culture na sa Samao community. Nga hindi lang specific into hip hop, but it's open to all na sa music.
Yeah,
everything, wala boundaries sa genres or everything.
There really isn't.
Yeah, and right now, are there any future plans pa, or what do you have in mind as at the moment?
I was just talking with the people behind Buhat Paglaong. Direct, what's up?
Sure.
And I don't know. I don't know. Got something cooking, but this the last remaining months of 2026, the last half of the year, July onwards, we hope to do vaccine out of town. So we're looking for venues out there. We did it last year. We did Escalante at Hupay Cafe. What up, Doc? We did it at Bucky's in San Carlos.
In Cadiz, have you had one in Cadiz?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. And so we're trying to do this again. We got Silay locked down already and I don't know what other cities are going to try to invite us. But
yes, going back lang, just a quick question. When you got here sa Bacolod, how was the hip hop scene?
It was zero. I mean, you would just find people that listen to the music, and it was mostly Bone Thugs and Harmony, or Death Threat if it was OPM, and it wasn't that much.
They are listening, pero wala artist though.
Yeah, maybe there was, but there was no gigs for them.
Yeah.
Not like the bands. No?
Oo, as I remember, ang unang local na dialect na nabatian ko personally is ang Il-Tried. They mista.
Sunny Blaze and Mr. Blaze.
Sa Bacolod, I don't really know, pero wala ko kabalo nga dumayara that time. So all of us here are fans. siguro wala pa means sa recording, kay would like pa mag-record before, pero damo man guro artist man nga already nga wala pa na-expose. So, that time, amo naga pa Manila ka pa to spread your music.
Yeah.
Oo. And sang una, diri, naka-record ka di, or what studio ka di ka record before sa imong songs?
Well, you already know that I'm with the crew, Third World Entertainment.
Third World.
Before, it used to be Little AD and Slick, right? We were like the main artists over there. And we had like others join us like eventually, and it became, it was a big group, right? But not everyone lasted, you know, not like the few ones that are still left. And Joseph is the latest addition and probably the last.
Yeah, I just want to ask personally, kay wala ko yung idea,
Yeah.
ano ni siya ang Third World? Ang
It's a
third,
collective
Okay.
of not just musicians too, you know, like
is it specific sa Bacolod ng Third World?
yes. It's
okay.
Bacolod. So it's not nationwide or anything. It's really Bacolod.
So Third World is collective diri nga mga production or mga talents diri sa Bacolod. And right now, Aero, I know, I don't know kung magkakakibot yung adubudamo na young ones nga into hip-hop.
Oh, I know.
Grabe,
I know.
And sometimes galisin ko, hindi na ako mag-name sa mga hip-hop artists, pero kakakibot ko sa quality sa ila mga inhiligay no na.
Yeah,
pero ang quality sa mga trap music nila, ano, grabe ka mga. I know that you're one of the inspirations sa mga, kabalo ko na ya, it's a fact nga sa mga newer ones. What can you say to them sa mga gusto magtahak man sa hip hop into this artistry sa hip hop?
Keep it real. That's a cliche. I know that everyone says that, but it's true. You stay authentic, people will pick up on that, and you will find your tribe. You'll find your audience. You'll find your whole target, and you won't have to worry about that later on. You know, I believe if you have like 1,000 solid followers that listen to your music, you would never starve if you're really trying to do this as a profession, because they would really support you with your gigs, with your releases, your videos, and all that. Like, you just need a solid 1,000, and I think you would be able to survive if you're really gonna go hard at it, right? For me, I'm not on that point anymore. I don't take this as a profession anymore. This is just a lifestyle I live. This is the life I live. It's a culture I live, and it's just an outlet and a way for me to reach the new, you know, and give platforms to them through Backscene. And keep doing you, and I hope that you pursue. And if you're from Bacolod City, man, you get my blessings. You know what I'm saying? Third World. And hey, you know, back to that story, Little AD, Slick, and I, we first recorded our song, and it was over the Neo So Sick instrumental. Do you remember that? So Sick.
Oh yeah.
And then we had Mika sing on there. Mika was DJ. Do you know DJ Rex?
Yeah.
DJ Rex, old school DJ, OG DJ. We recorded that at his place over there in Burgos.
So
right?
ang backtrack niya is so sick niya.
Yeah. That's exactly what my mixtape was.
Okay.
Popular beats, and they just rap over it. You're just like basically using it. You know what I mean? And because it's a popular beat and just rapping over it. So that we came up with the Third World Rapper's Proposal featuring Mika, and that was the song that jump started all of us. If you ask Little Lady and Slick, they'll tell you how that song started us here in Bacolod. And
So that song, gin mix pa ni sa gamay to put some extra beats on it, or
that was DJ Rex who
DJ
did
Rex
all
na.
of that.
Okay.
Yeah, he was still he was the resident DJ of North at that time. Old school.
Shout out kasi malantawan niya man.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you do in your spare time nga in the music? Do you, what keeps you busy naman niya?
Of course, family, right? First, and besides the music, I do write a lot, right?
What business, may mga business?
We have businesses.
Okay.
We have Empanada,
Check that.
right? Check our page, Empanada Official on Facebook and Instagram and all that. And also, I got my merch, Aware, right? So B.aware, AWAER on Facebook and Instagram too. And that's what I do. I'm really heavy into the business because that's what I graduated college with.
Okay.
You know, in La Salle. I was the College of Business and Management. Man. That's what I graduated with. So business is one of my things off of music.
What can you say naman, last na lang na yung question, what can you say to those kids na they are writing songs but somehow doon nahuya sila or nahadlok sila to put it out there? Eh, base sa ilang mind, di base malaw kayanin sila or base hindi nila pag so because I know some artists nga mo na may mga songs din pero hindi ko mag-use do ako na lang yun nahuya mga i-put it out there. Do you like you bla when you write a song, do you throw it out there for the people or you just do it by yourself? Nga para niya sa ako more than for you.
First and foremost, it's always for myself. If I'm happy with it, I always think that the people that follow me would like it too. You know, and if they don't like it, you have to learn how to accept constructive criticism. You know, and you know if you're really following a trend or setting a trend. So if you're just doing your thing and you know you're not you're staying in your own lane, I think that's fine. You know, just do it. Just go for it. Don't stop. You know, I think that would be a good advice for artists who's scared to, you know, release. I think sometimes we overthink, right?
Yes.
We overthink and then it just gets shelved. It doesn't see the light of day. We need to stop that. It's like we need to create in the moment, and if you could, release it in the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Ako mo, overthink about. That's really true sa mga artists. So don't overthink. Well, if you feel like posting it, post it. And then makatch nila si Aero sa mga gigs, yung mga page. Can you please promote it or your music?
Yeah, so on social media, it's Aero with a dot, spell it all out, you know, the /Aero with a dot. You could find me on all of that. And vaccine, it happens every last Friday of the month. I want to say what up to Third World Entertainment and so my son, my DJ, my producer Fraction. We got music in store. We're just working on it. I'm finding a new distribution for the music. And yeah, you know what? I hope we get to collab again. Make
Again,
it. You know, it needs to be like a trilogy. Yeah, we already have two, right?
Yes.
So we need to make it one
Let's
more.
do it.
With Cali Island.
Yes.
And then
Yes,
after
yes.
Cali Island, I'm gonna invite you on our project.
Fire. Sige, I'm so
excited.
excited. Sige.
Yeah.
And shout out sa mga galing sa Buhat Paglaom. Kay Buhat Paglaom is also one of the reasons nga nagkabanding-banding kami ni Martin, ni Aero.
Shout out to Martin. I don't want to say anymore, but Buhat Paglaom, it happens every August.
Yes. See you sa August.
Let's go.
Thank you sa time mo. Thank you.
Ay.
I'm so happy nga nakabisita ka. Di kumpare. And salamat sa mga galantaw. Hope nga may nakuha ka mo na-inspire ka mo sa story ni Aero, no? Especially if you're into hip-hop at kung paano mag-start, kung di ka mo mag-starting point. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you naman sa dasang episodes ng Deadman Talking. Peace, everyone. Peace. Thank you.
Love, peace, and chicken inasal grease.